St Pierre White. Join me as I share my passion for building four-wheel drive trucks and then travelling to the remotest parts of the world.
So a day or so ago, I promised you a look inside the camper, and we camped here today. We're not shifting, so it seems like a good time to do a bit of housekeeping and at the same time to show you inside our little home. So this is it. This is our beautiful little home on wheels. The bed is quite a bit smaller than we've got at home, definitely. So that's been a bit of an adjustment, but we're getting through that. I find my arms are all over Andrew and his legs are all over me, but we're getting sorted 7 days in. One of the things that we've spoken to you a lot about is the packing. You know, we've been quite anal about it, I'm sure, on how to pack and why it's important to pack and to get everything right. And there's a good reason for it. Camping is actually pretty tiring. It's hard work. You're always looking for something. You're climbing up, you're climbing down, you're in the tent, you're zipping this, you're back into the car. So if you don't have things in order and you don't know where things are, and you have to go on a search and rescue expedition every time you want to find something, it makes it gets old very, very quickly. So that's one of the reasons why we've been pushing this whole thing, you know, order, a place for everything in its place. So it just makes it fun. It brings back the fun and takes out the slog. So everything in its place, that is what we've tried to do in here. So following on from that idea of a place for everything in its place, it really also applies in your tent, you're sleeping, wherever you're sleeping, whether it's a fancy palace like this or it's just a two-man tent on the ground, whatever. If you want to be comfortable in this whole camping game, you've actually got to prepare yourself. And one of the things for me is I like to wake up in the morning and do a bit of reading on my phone. So I like to know that my phone is charging overnight. I also have a stupid Apple Watch, which requires a charge. So I'm blessed, I've got USBs. But if you don't have a USB, you can always take a brick like this into your tent. The point I'm making here is make yourself comfortable, because the camping is such a big part of overlanding. And if you're not comfortable at night, the days can be really rough. So other things that we've done to make it comfortable for me. I'm blessed with a bladder the size of an egg cup. So the whole concept of me being able to make it through the night without needing a pee, I mean, it's just not on this planet. Never going to happen. And I'm not brave at heart, really, when it comes to getting up at night to go and pee. So I've had too many African stories. One of the classic ones was our friend Sarah, who leapt out of the tent in the middle of the night and scrambled over to a bush to have a pee. And in the morning, the lions walked out from around that bush, and it had been very clear that they'd slept the whole night there and had probably watched her having her pee. Well, that kind of put me off for life. So I make a plan for those nighttime events. I've done peas in everything from ice cream tubs to packets. Now I've got smart. I've got my bucket. I've got a heavy duty plastic bag in it. It just sits on the floor here, and when nature calls, done. And I just deal with it in the morning. So for people like me, that's the solution. Things get pretty grimy in a tent, and in the old days we used to use a dustpan and brush, and we actually considered leaving this behind when we were packing up, because we went out, because we've got all this power, we went out and splurged on one of these. It's a cordless vacuum cleaner. But we quickly realized that a brush is indispensable. You use it for so much. So while I didn't bring the dustpan this time, I have got my brush and I use it every day for something. The reason for this mainly is because everything gets very grimy. It gets very dusty. You trail dirt in. It's not so bad in the camper because our bed is above it. But if you're in a tent on the ground and you've got your mattress on the ground and your sleeping bag and you're traipsing dirt in, and that gets, oh no, it's just awful. That's why you need to have some cleaning kit. And today is the day that I'm going to be doing some vacuuming.
This has actually been an amazing day. We just relaxed. You know, how often do you get an opportunity, and it's not something that you can do at home because there are always demands on your time, and a situation like that where you just have nothing around you, nothing much to take care of apart from lunch and looking at the trees, listening to the wind. Nothing like making a fire. Very therapeutic.
Yeah. There's a fire over there, and it's difficult to know how far away it is. This is very reminiscent for me of our experience at Delta Camp, where we were on an island in the Okavango and we had fires raging around us, and it was literally, you know, do we get on a boat and try and escape? And it was really not a comfortable feeling, and so I'm feeling a level of tension right now. It's hard to say how far away it is, but the wind is coming in our direction, so what do you reckon, Droon?
But this isn't an area of thick forest. It's a very sparse forest. So it would, see, I can see it flickering. And it would travel much slower during, but I've been looking around here, picking up firewood. And there has not that distant past a fire that has passed through this area, because I've been finding charred logs, and actually we've been burning some of them on the less burnt ones, the singed ones, on our campfire. What we need to do tonight, I would say, is pack up a little more thoroughly than we would normally pack up, and then I'll set an alarm for every, say, 2 hours. If we cannot see any advancement from the time we go to bed, set an alarm every 2 hours with the binoculars upstairs, and then if we see anything that is threatening, it's very easy for us to get on the track and drive south on the southerly track that we came in on.
Yeah.
So we survived the fire. Yeah, we did really well. It went out. So we were pleased about that. But now this morning we have to cope with something else. And that is a flood. I'm not kidding. The weather has changed completely, as you can see. And we've looked on the weather radar and we are about to be dumped on. 100% chance of rain in this area and a 200% chance of rain in the place that we're heading to now. I say 200% because it's actually raining at this very second there now. And there is a severe weather forecast warning for here and a little bit further south where we wanted to go. This is going to be really interesting. If we head south, even as far inland as we are now, which is not that far away from the coast, we're going to hit weather.
It's this whole Gascoigne wheat belt area. By 11 o'clock this morning, they've got an 80% chance of rain.
Okay, and that is Gascoigne Junction.
That's Gascoigne Junction, which was done here on the map.
Right on the Kennedy Range National Park.
Yeah.
Okay, can I take that from you?
Yeah. Good news keeps on coming.
Okay.
There's a fire weather warning for the Gascoigne Inland, this southern district, and extreme fire danger is forecast in the following fire district: Gascoigne Inland. And the Department of Fire and Emergency Service advises you to action your bushfire survival plan now.
Action your bushfire survival plan now.
Do we have one?
Yeah, we drive away from the fire.
Maybe you should read it yourself. Gascoigne, central west, lower west, southwest.
Okay, damaging winds possible through large parts of the state as a rain band and strong cold front move over during Sunday. Today's Saturday.
Sunday today.
Heavy rain is also possible through the central west and adjacent Gascoigne districts. Even with all that rain, they've also got the fire.
Yeah, but this is coming ahead of the rain. Because warm and dry conditions.
Because it's warm and windy.
Yeah, ahead of the rain.
Should we try and get to the Kennedy Range Park? I'm guessing that we could do that.
Do you want me to get that up on the app?
Today.
Give me a...
Uluwara Road, it's called. Okay, it'll be very remote.
Give me a little town or something close to it that would likely have a weather station.
Actually, Gascoigne Junction is a Gascoigne Junction.
Gascoigne Junction is where the weather warning is.
That's where the weather warning is. We're travelling southwest now, so it's kind of coming back a bit, but that's okay. Look at that dust, eh? In the distance.
It's probably what our old campsite looks like. And our last campsite, I bet it looks just like that.
Right, we're back. We have decided not to actually head east. We had a look at the weather forecast and we realised that the gale will be past the coast within 2 days. So tonight is definitely the worst. And so we thought, well, let's actually drive into the storm and find accommodation for the night, out of the wind, out of the rain, because by this time tomorrow it will be passing through. By the end of tomorrow, it might actually be quite nice. So, yes, we're going to lose 2 days. So Gwynnie is now booking a accommodation in Exmouth for the two of us for the night. And the Exmouth coast is, I've never been there. It is spectacular, I believe.
Is this where it all ends?
Nice, eh? Are you saying that we should have taken a nice hotel? This is the nicest hotel available in Western Australia right now.
The last room standing.
The last room standing. That's what
Actually a disabled
on the
room.
we've been logging all our GPS camping points, and we're going to call this
The
last room standing. They've even opened a piece of flat ground in the middle of Exmouth. This then is the cricket oval at Exmouth. It is not a camping site. And last night when we arrived, it was packed. Because wild camping is not permitted on the Exmouth Peninsula. So they've just done that because it's full.
You better explain why it's full, because it's not always full.
All right, it's full. It's normally busy because of the grey nomads, even though this is out of tourist season. So you have the grey nomads, which makes it busy. COVID-19 meant that most Western Australians that would normally go on holiday to Bali, and they all do, I mean really high numbers do, because Bali is close and inexpensive and fantastic, cannot, so they have to stay in Western Australia. Not only that, the grey nomads that are here, that have come in from other countries,
Other states,
I mean, can't leave because of the quarantine issues.
the borders are closed.
The borders are closed.
Hard closed. The borders are hard closed.
And this area here, from here down to the coast to Shark Bay, the westernmost point on the Australian mainland, is a hotspot for grey nomads and tourists.
But also it's winter now, but the weather here is lovely.
No, winter is high season.
Yeah, whereas down south, so you're not even getting a spread around the countryside. No. They've all avoided the cold down south to come up here.
Because down south the season is summer, not winter. Here the season is winter, not summer. So everybody's here now.
You could say that we misplanned our trip,
No,
but really we had no choice. We had no choice. We had been locked up since December.
I don't think it was a case of we didn't have any choice. We knew it was going to be busy. I knew it was going to be busy. I had no idea it was going to be this busy.
Yeah, but also we needed content. We needed to get out and do our job, or your job. I just come along for the ride. You needed to get out and do your job.
I know, and it is frustrating. And we've had a really, really good run in the bush. We have had a fantastic run actually in the bush.
We did.
So the question is, do we go back to the bush, more of the same, or do we say, oh well, and call it short? There's no point in touring. There's no point in touring the coast, because we were told, we asked, the most congested place in Western Australia, second only to Exmouth, is Shark Bay. You cannot move. This is what we've been told, and we were going to go to Shark Bay.
Which is quite sad, because I was really looking forward to that.
But the great part about it is Shark Bay is 8 hours to 9 hours drive from our home in Perth. So
another time.
That's not. Here is an easy 2-day drive home from here. Can I survive the night with this face brick? That's now the immediate challenge. And that picture of the fish, not helping. I think the idea this morning should be that we just tour the peninsula and just have a look at this beautiful part of the world, knowing that we can't stay here unless we go back in town and stay.
Yeah, so Andrew's leapt out of the car to go and take some more footage of the caravan park, and I was watching him and I was just thinking about why people would want to come and caravan right next to each other. And it just struck me that everybody's different, and you've got to honor and respect that. For the people here, The sea is literally just across the road. You walk out the caravan park, cross the road, over a mound, and the sea's there. So if all you're wanting to do is go out with your surfboard or go out fishing, this is the perfect spot. They're not after wilderness. Oh, you're back.
Yeah.
They're not after wilderness. They're not looking for what we want to look, what we want to find.
You're talking about these people?
Yeah, and I actually think it's great because diversity is perfect. Diversity is exactly what makes the world tick. And if we didn't have diversity, it would be so boring. Imagine if everybody here was
out in the bush.
Yeah, it wouldn't work. So
We would have nothing.
So we're right up there at the moment, there. So we're going to take the road that travels all the way around the peninsula, like this, all the way down, popping into beaches on the way down. No chance of camping, it's not going to happen. But we are going to look at some of the beaches and all the way down to Coral Bay.
pair of landlubbers, we don't even take our boots off, really, you know. We just don't know how to appreciate the sea. Just stunning. Okay. There's a name for this colour. It's called travel brochure blue.
The reef, right on the edge here. The water just cuts down. Part of what makes this place unique, World Heritage Site, is the Ningaloo Reef. And if you can see in the distance, there's a line of breakers all the way down this coast for what must be 200 or so kilometers. There is the reef, and on the reef the wildlife is absolutely sensational, but it means that the shoreline is protected against the big waves, which you can see in the distance. So this, by its very nature, will make an astonishing place to go snorkeling. You know, we have to come back. We have to book. We'll try and find some of the best smaller campsites, and we need to come snorkel this. I mean, it's a 2-day drive from home. That's not extreme. We just need to plan better and make the most of what we have here now. There won't be too many people on it. There are some off-road tracks leading down to the sea, and we hear even a 4-wheel drive track that heads southwards along the coast.
You see? The brush has many uses and purposes, apart from just sweeping out tents. Except now I've got to put my foot back in the sand.
Yeah. Yes.
So you're going to have to carry
You are
me
as
to
mad
the
as that brush, I tell you.
You're going to have to do your conjugal duty and carry me to the car.
Yeah, right. Those days are long. Were there ever any days that I
when
did
we
that?
first met, when I was
Could I pick you up? Could I pick you up?
If you'd really tried.
Oh, that's why I've got such bad sciatica now.
Oh dear me. Got to be able to laugh at yourself.
You get a lot of practice.
Oh, I'll smack you with my brush.
Okay. Sorry. It's not going to work, is it?
No, not really.
Because we have to now drive out of here. And the sand is very, very thick, and I've got to turn around at it.
Well, maybe we should just wait it out, because you've got to let down the tyres. Because you don't let
I'm going
down
to try without letting down tires and rely on my skill and cunning. Don't look at me like that.
Skill and cunning. Okay.
So you would be outside filming.
Yeah, it's bucketing down with rain, so I don't get paid enough.
Or I gun
Now
it now.
you gun it.
I gun it now. What do you reckon?
Okay,
you gonna do it?
should I? You've got the dash cam. Yeah, go for it. Ready, steady. Well done, my Droony. Hey, you're not just a pretty face.
Not even that. That was fun.
Now your
Seatbelt.
Is it your seatbelt, not your tire pressure thing?
No. This looks very promising. This track runs down the coast for almost 100 kilometers, hugging the sea. Crossed the Yardie Creek. Now taking a back road track through the reserve south. The alternative is to go all the way back around that velvet mooring to us. So this is the only four-wheel drive route in the Rangers National Park. The track that goes all the way down south is this completely wild track. You are allowed to camp wild as long as you're not inside the Rangers National Park, and we've just left it, and I'm thinking that we could wild camp here. I'm not sure if you're allowed to, but it was distinctive: no wild camping in Rangers National Park. Not no wild camping on the entire peninsula. And well, look at the road, it's wild.
Let's get further from the park. Let's get more into the wilderness, because this road goes all the way down to Coral Bay.
And which is, will take us a whole day on this at this speed to get to Coral Bay on this road.
Yeah.
Soon after leaving the Rangers National Park boundary, people camping started to appear. We are so lucky. So lucky. Too boring to film, but this entire coastline is controlled. We've met some friendly people that run one of the beaches here. They gave us a telephone number instead of internet, because the internet says everything's full. We called them, and then had some late cancellations or something. But that person, a human as opposed to a computer, said, "Is space," and not a lot, but we got lucky. So we booked a place for 2 nights on the sea. It turns out that these wild campsites need to be booked well in advance in most cases. Luckily for us, we met some very helpful people. We're directed to a cell tower where we managed to make a booking online. There were 2 sites left. We really did get lucky.
I know some people love camp cooking and they make an absolute art of it, and their food is just amazing to eat. I'm not one of those people. I'm a bit of a Philistine, I suppose, really. But the fact of the matter is, I've been cooking for so long, I'm so over it, whether it's at home or here or whatever. So for me, it's always the path of least resistance. If I can do it in one pot, I will. And in fact, I even go so far as to make a whole lot of ready meals before I come camping. And I stick them in the freezer and we haul them out and we often eat those. So you won't be getting massive camp cooking tips from me unless you like simple.
Good morning. We have made up a rudimentary piece of shade for ourselves. One of the things, the pieces of equipment that I have actually missed on this trip is a easy to open awning, but we've done something with our tarp and we'll be in good shape. And while I admit to being highly allergic to cramped campgrounds, this kind of situation doesn't actually worry me in the slightest, until the moment somebody plays music, and then I lose all sensibilities and I have to leave. But everybody here's been very quiet overnight, no loud parties. It's actually fine, absolutely fine. So we're done.
Yeah, come to the end. It's sad, hey?
Yeah, it's been brilliant. Actually been brilliant. And for a while I thought there's no ways we're going to get a good spot on the beach. But we were wrong. We got lucky. Very privileged I am to be able to visit some of the world's most beautiful spots. Very, very privileged indeed. I'm very privileged as well to have a wife like Gwyn. Supports everything I do, always supportive, funny. We laugh at anything. And I get to do this kind of traveling with her. I'm a really, really lucky guy. And you guys out there, you Patreons that support and make this possible, thanks again. I know I thank you guys a lot, but it's the difference between me doing this and doing something else. So we're going to head off. We're going to head south of home tomorrow. We'll probably do it in 2 days. Wander back. And we'll plan for some of those places that we did earmark for this trip. We will go. We will find time to go back there. And
Yeah. I've got a question.
Yeah.
Plan.
Plan?
People are probably wondering to themselves how we plan our trips because they're very, very ad hoc.
They are ad hoc.
The truth is we don't like to plan our trips other than a basic route.
We we love the idea of not knowing where we're going to be that night. There's something about that, because also what it means is that if you discover some place that's really amazing, well, then just spend another day there. I mean, 2 of our campsites were less than an hour's drive apart.
Yeah, we just saw something beautiful,
beautiful.
and we decided to stay.
Yeah.
Which is why we not great about booking things, but I think if we're going to come back here, you've got to book.
I think we will have to book. We've learned that, in fact, as wild as this coast is, it's not as wild as you'd think, and not as wild as we would like it to be. We have to find the places that we really want to come to. We'll book.
We'll book. Yep. We'll break with tradition.
So now, from later this year, we're building a studio in Perth. We've bought a property. We're building a proper studio, and it's going to be an environment where we're going to be able to test a lot of other camping equipment and kit, and not actually have to go on big trips when we want to review a small product. We won't.
And in fact, we've spoken a lot about
Our studio on this trip in the car.
Studio.
A lot. So that's coming up. That's coming up soon, in fact.
And not only are we having a studio, but we're having some chickens as well. Some chooks.
Chickens and major vegetable garden, and it's
yeah.
really, really nice for us to be able to say, after 6.5 years since we sold our last property, we now own property, and this one's for us pretty special.
Yeah.
It's just the 2 of us again. All the kids are gone, just the 2 of us. We're actually pretty
Quite excited.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for watching.
Take care.
See you next time. And there you go.
Done. Swatting flies.
So all these people walking past, watching us vlogging. Yeah, but not with us, with a decent camera. Did you turn the microphone on?
I was not in charge of the camera department.
It's on. Sorry. It's on. I turned it on.
Crack you.
I got you. Hook, line and sinker.